All right, everybody, welcome back. This is another desktop demo tonight of the Analogman King of Tone. The King of Tone is a bit of a mythic pedal. It's been out for a long time, and for some pretty good reasons is very, very popular. In fact, it's so popular that it's almost impossible to get a hold of. At least new. You have to get on a waiting list, and you have to wait for 2 years. I've done this twice now with the King of Tone. You know, why is it so popular? Well, I think when it first came out, it was a bit unique. Tube screamers were galore, but blues breaker based pedals. If you don't know what a blues breaker is, you do a little bit of research on the old Marshall blues breaker pedal, but this is based on that circuit. If you buy it new, it's a great value. It's under $300, or it was the last time I bought one. I couldn't find the price today. It's under $300. It's got two pedals basically in the same box. They will do clean boost mode, overdrive mode, or distortion. Both sides, you can choose what you want with internal dip switches. This one happens to have a switch on the outside if you want to change between the modes. You know, that makes it a whole lot more functional. So they've done some things that you can get versions that have in and out for both sides of the pedal. You can get custom colors now. So this one's done in black. So there are a lot of cool things about the pedal, but to buy them used is about $500 US on Reverb. Give or take depending on the day and whatnot. But the price goes up a lot if you're looking for a used one because it takes 2 years to get a hold of one. The question maybe for you is, can this pedal do what I need it to do? Is it worth the money? Can it P-dub if you're one of those players? So I'm just going to give you a quick run through of the sounds. I'm not trying to be exhaustive here. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what it does. And in a nutshell, it's a blues breaker based pedal, so it'll lop off a little bit of bottom end, give you a little bit of a mid push, but it's not as soft on the top end as a tube screamer, not as mids pushed as a tube screamer, and cuts off the bottom in a different way. So although those two circuits have similarities, they're not exactly the same. Okay, so for today's purposes, I am running in stereo. Left side of your signal is a matchless DC30, and on the right side is a traditional clean by 2 rock amplification. This is what they sound like together. On the clean, of course, nothing's ever really clean in my world, but this is what they sound like, starting at the neck position and moving our way down to the bridge. I'm using a T-style guitar today for this demo with a fairly hot bridge pickup, so keep that in mind as you listen. Here we go with the overdrive side. I'm not going to do clean boost in this because, well, frankly, I think it's a bit of a waste to use this as a clean boost. My favorite mode is the overdrive mode, and that's what we're going to start with here on the yellow side. Is that yellow or orange? I don't know. They say yellow. Yellow side of the pedal. With our bridge pickup, this is what it does to our clean sound. As you can hear, if you're familiar with tube screamer type circuits, and I've got if you want to hear this next to a tube screamer, by the way, I have another video as I'm building my pedal board with a bunch of mid-pushed circuits, and I just refer to that because I think it's a common baseline that people understand. It's more aggressive on the top, less mid-congested, maybe takes off a little bit less bass, okay? But it does something really cool. If you're looking for an overdrive pedal that will let you stick out in a mix, is touch sensitive, this is a good choice. It's got a cool way that it clips your signal. And you know, it can go from pretty dark. I'm going to turn that delay off for this. Maybe I should have done that before. Analog Mike's a smart man because he doesn't give us something that's totally unusable, you know. And if we wind that up a bit more, here's 3/4. And all the way up, if you really love the brightness. I could never imagine playing that bright personally. But hey, that might be your flavor. Here's the range of gain. Volume's at halfway. Compare that to the clean sound for a second. And those gain levels are pretty similar. So you can probably hear how it just takes off a little bit of bass. And maybe adds a little bit of top. Let's go this way because we were already kind of at halfway before. So that's the overdrive side. Let's do the distortion side. And again, on this side, on this pedal, we could flip modes, but because it's set to distortion internally, it doesn't do that right now. What are you going to notice? You're going to notice a little bit more hard clipping. Analogman site says, think about this as if you crossed over a DS1 and an OD1 and gave it a little fairy dust magic. That's kind of what this is like when you click that BB style circuit into a distortion circuit, not an overdrive circuit. Right, harder clipping. This is the high gain mode. So right here-ish, where we had it is about as much gain as you get out of a standard King of Tone. But for some people, that's not enough. So this is a high gain version. And here's what it sounds like if you wind the gain all the way up. I mean, that's about as aggressive a sound. Sorry, I should say this another way. That's about as much gain as you would need for anything we play in praise and worship if you're that kind of guy. If you're a rock player, yeah, that might do it for you. There's a lot of gain there. It compresses more when it's up that high on the. I would never ever set it that high. For me, the high gain mod is unnecessary on the King of Tone, not for what it's good at. Because if this pedal was to be on my pedal board and not in a demo, I would probably have it set so that both sides were overdrive. Because I think that, I said that before, I think that's the magic of the King of Tone. But hopefully that gives you some idea of how it sounds. There are tons of YouTube videos out there. I think it's worth looking at if you're looking for this kind of circuit, although recently a lot of good competition has come out for the King of Tone, especially in the praise and worship world. The Brown amplification protein is pushing into the market a lot. It does a BB sound, and it also does a Nobels ODR sound. I think the King Tone Dualist, which has a BB side and a Tube Screamer side, would be if you're looking for a dual pedal that does this kind of thing. And then just at NAMM, which this is being recorded on January the 21st, at NAMM, this circuit got picked up by Jackson Audio and in collaboration with Joey Landreth. And so they're adding a whole bunch of wicked stuff to it. 3-band EQ, MIDI, so you'll have the chance to recall presets, make changes on the fly. They have their gain cycling technology, bringing over from the Broken Arrow. So there's lots of stuff out there. And to me, the thing about the King of Tone right now is, like, is it worth paying $500 to skip the line? Or is it worth getting in line? I mean, I guess if you're the kind of person that can get in line and forget about it, it's probably still a really good pedal. There's nothing wrong with the pedal. My beef with the King of Tone is more the wait list, and that's never changed in, like, man, I think the first time I got on the wait list was 10 years ago or more. Actually, it was probably more now. And it took like 18 months the first time I got on the list, and it takes way more than that now, or at least last time I checked. I would love to see, if it was me, Analog Mike, take a tip from Paul Cochran and do with the King of Tone what Paul has done with the Timmy, and get on board with somebody who can maybe up your price by $50 a pedal, but can mass produce them and sell bazillions of them at Guitar Center and all other kinds of cool music stores all over the world. I would love to see Analogman do that with the King of Tone, because I think it's time. I think it's time to recognize we can never satiate the world by making them by hand, one at a time. Let's open it up. Mike, I think there's money for you to make. I think the world wants to see your pedal more. And I think it should be able to see it for less than $500. All right, that's my little KOT demo, review, rant, whatever you want to call it. If this has been helpful to you, leave a like. Maybe consider subscribing to see more demos and gear from the perspective of somebody who is playing every weekend at his local church. Yeah, I hope it's helpful for you. And if you have any questions along those lines or anything else, please feel free to leave a comment. And we will see you guys in the near future.